Hi there, Fred, FR5ED here with the beer review. Today I'm looking at I4 IPA from Orlando Brewing. That's a local brewer. I've mentioned them before, I believe, especially early on in my career of my venture, I should say, in tasting craft beers. In fact, Orlando Brewing, it's downtown Orlando. It's off of Michigan and Division. It's over by one of the major hospitals. But they've been there for a few years now. I think 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. And it was one of my first regular exposures to craft beer. They've got a tap room. I would go there and sample their beers and sit there and enjoy that. And it wasn't long after those first few months, back at the end of 2011, that and into early 2012, that I started branching out and tasting other breweries' craft beers, and it went on from there. I've not been back to the tap room in probably a couple of years. They are one of the only organic breweries in the Southeast, I believe, maybe the only one in Florida. They hold to the 1615 German purity laws, I believe, where they only use water, hops, malted barley, and yeast. Those 4 ingredients only, no adjuncts, no flavors or anything. So, that sounds good. And if you want pure organic, craft beer, that's it. What I found was that there was somewhat of a homogeneous element to all their beers. There was something very common. All of them had a similar taste. I've been told, not by them, but I've been told that they use the same yeast, the same ale yeast in all their beers. Could be, I don't know that. I've also heard they reuse the yeast, which that's certainly done. Home brewers do that all the time. They'll save some of the yeast and regenerate it. Think about sourdough bread. You're constantly feeding and regenerating the starter, as it's called. So I'm not saying good or bad to any of that. I do know that I kind of outgrew, maybe not outgrow is not the best word, but my palate changed. And I've not really gone back and had much of their beers at all. The only recent Orlando Brewing beer I've had is when I go to Seasons 52, a restaurant we like. They have a few of the only craft beer, it's very few, 3 or 4 of them in their Orlando Brewings. They've got Old Pelican, which is an ESB, English Special Bitters, or an English style IPA. I think it's an English Pale Ale. Anyway, it's very mild, not really bitter at all. It's the closest I can come to a craft beer I like when I go there. So with all that being said, let me tell you how this fares online. On Rate Beer, it rates a 47 overall and a 20 in style. That's only after 17 ratings, so let's don't put a lot of stock in that. Looking over at Beer Advocate, it rates a 78, which is okay. That's only after 21 ratings. So it hasn't gotten a lot of press or exposure online as far as ratings. The commercial description says, "This smooth, full-bodied Indy Pale Ale, it's much better than Interstate 4, that's our local interstate, even on a good day. Our IPA is brewed with organic Magnum, organic Centennial, and organic Cascade hops. We also dry hop in the fermenter with a hefty amount of organic Cascade hops to deliver a zesty citrus aroma." That's the commercial description. So, let's open it and give it a pour. Developing a really nice head there. Pretty, it's a significant head, but I don't know if we can get a close-up on that. It's not super dense. The bubbles are kind of medium-sized. They're not real micro foam at all. They're more medium-sized with a few larger ones in there. But still, good 4.5 finger head there. It's going to make it tough to get through there to sip it. Not perfectly clear, a little bit cloudy, good carbonation. Let's give it a smell. I do smell the citrus. I smell the orange. Interestingly, I'm pretty familiar with the aromas of Orlando Brewing, and I think the yeast that they use is one that is familiar when I smell it. And I'm not picking it up yet here. I'm getting more of the hop aroma, which surprises me and pleases me. Let's smell this again. A little bit of the malt backbone in there, but mostly just that nice, smooth citrusy aroma. I'm going to try to give it a taste through here. Recognizable. Actually, as my memory is serving me, this is better than the other IPAs I've had of theirs. And they've only made it, I mean, since I went there, I'm only recalling 2 or 3 that they had, so I don't know how many there are, but this one, actually, it's got some decent hop bitterness. It smells like it might be a little sweet, because I am getting that malt smell coming through there. But it's more dry. There's a little touch of sweetness there, but it's mostly dry. I am getting somewhat of a familiar taste from them, which could be from the yeast. There's hop bitterness, there's some malt taste. I'm not getting much of the citrus or the hop flavor coming through. It's not real complex at all. Yeah, I'm not getting what I like in an IPA is that blend of the malt backbone. Yes, the hop bitterness, but I like, and the hop aroma, but I like the hop flavor to come through as well, and I'm not really picking much of that up. It is clearing up more. Another taste and we'll wrap up. Yeah, it's reminding me of an IPA that I reviewed a couple of months ago, and I can't remember what it was, but I do remember it was kind of lacking in complexity. It really was just about the hop bitterness, and there wasn't a lot under there supporting it, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. I mean, I'm not going to reach for it again. I will say this, if I went to Seasons 52 and they had added this to the menu and it was the only thing they'd added, I may reach for this over the Old Pelican, but only because it's got a little more hop bitterness. I don't know that it's got any more flavor. So anyway, I know I'm not being very complimentary of this, but I've not been real excited about the brews from here, and maybe it's because they do adhere to those German purity laws of 1516 or 1615 or whatever century that was, and they only use those 4 ingredients, and I don't think they do West Coast style anyway, so you may like it. If you have access to it, give it a try. You may like it. Orlando Brewing's I4 IPA, and this is Fred, FR5ED, over and out.